It is Monday, October 14th. This is Jaguars Happy Hour. Jaguars Happy Hour is brought to you by Jet Home Loans. And now, a guy who wants to remind everyone to always mind the gap, J.P. Shadrick.
There certainly is one right about now. Welcome in. It is Jaguars Happy Hour, Monday, October 14th. The first hour presented by Jet Home Loans. And we are at the Grove, just outside of Watford, northwest of London. Team headquarters for the week going in to the game at Wembley this week. The Jaguars host the Patriots, but we've got plenty to attend to today. Here's what's coming up on the show after the Jags lost to the Bears at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium yesterday. 35-16 the final. Penalties, drops, coverage issues. We'll keep it real. I think it'll be 2 hours of that. Fanatics fan questions. We'll go around the NFL. Also, lots to cover today. Tony Boselli with me here in England, and Pete Prisco is with us on the line down in South Florida. Tony, good afternoon. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to be here. What a beautiful place this the Grove is. HQ for London here in Jaguar. It's great. It's this old, like, kind of Victorian. Like, this is a house we're in right now.
Yes.
And they added a resort around it. Great golf course. I'm not going to be able to play. But besides that, it's beautiful. Unfortunately, what we saw on the field yesterday, not so pretty. I wish the play was as nice as this beautiful resort we're staying at right now.
Yeah, not quite yet. Pete, here we are. Jaguars are 1-5. Good afternoon.
A jolly good time in London. It was not had by all, was it? I mean, my gosh, what an awful showing on Sunday. I mean, there are so many things to talk about when it comes to that game. It was as bad. Look, the Buffalo game was awful, but Buffalo's a good team. The Bears, they're okay, but it was just disgusting all the way across the board. I mean, from mistakes to dropped touchdown passes to bad interception to an underthrown deep ball to guys not making tackles, no interior pass rush at all. I mean, it wasn't great from the outside either, but they got nothing on the interior. It was awful, okay? There's no other way to describe it, and something has to be done. Something has to be done.
So, Pete, a couple things. 3 points, and we can kind of frame. Let me say the first thing. You brought up the underthrown pass by Trevor, and I'm going to start the show as I actually think Trevor played pretty well. If you watch during the game, it didn't feel like because everything was going so wrong. But going back and watching the tape today, the underthrown ball was bad. I had no issue with the interception. I mean, it was an interception, you don't want it. But they're down, I think, 2 or 3 scores late, 3rd and 15.
Had to push it down the field.
He's trying to make something happen. But my goodness, they had 4 dropped touchdown passes.
I know.
And I thought he made some really nice throws. I thought he used his feet effectively when he had to. Like, Trevor Lawrence was not the problem. So let's just set that aside. The 2 big issues I have coming out of yesterday's game, it's actually what was said in the postgame, which I think is a reflection of how the game went yesterday and how the season has gone so far at 1-5, is Andre Sisco was interviewed by Brent Martineau, and he used the term quit. I'm like, quit? This is week 6, and we're talking about guys quitting on the field from one of the players that people are counting on and calling out defenders for quitting? I was like, first of all, if that's true, it's inexcusable. Second of all, you don't say that publicly. You handle that behind closed doors, in my opinion. And then the second thing is, in the postgame, Doug Peterson was talking, I believe it was to Bucky, and talking about there's a cultural issue. The culture needs to change.
Yeah, he said that.
I'm like, wow, that's where we are.
Who's responsible for the culture?
Well, the head coaches. Ultimately, the head coach, I mean, you could say the GM, the 2 of them together are responsible for the culture of the football side of the building.
You think?
That really, I mean, but Pete, that's
But the players have a hand in that too, right?
Yeah,
they have to go execute that culture.
No, okay, I agree with that. At the end of the day, you know where I'm going to stand on this. At the end of the day, it's the players are responsible. What you put on the field is your responsibility. When you turn on the tape, and I turned on the tape, and you see jogging and you see drops and you see not getting off the field and extending possessions because 12 men on the field, like you see that kind of stuff, that is the players. The players are ultimately responsible for the play on the field. The coach's job is to put them in the right position. I bring those two things up, Pete, because at 1-5 and getting blown out yesterday by a rookie quarterback, and then to have those two comments are very concerning to me because that is a sign of more systemic issues that go beyond just being 1-5. Now, they might be leading to the 1-5, but those are big issues. I mean, you've been around the league a long time. I've played and been around it. When you start hearing quit and cultural issues, my goodness, I did not. The only other
word you don't want to hear is thrown in there is soft. Throw that one in there if you want to. I mean, that one is the real that tears at the fabric of a football team. So yeah, I'm with you, Tony. Look, as a journalist, I love that Brett Martineau got him to say that. I mean, that's fantastic. If I was the football coach, he'd be called into my office the next day, and I'd say, "What are you doing? Why would you put that out there? If you have a problem with people on this team who you think are not playing to the oomph whistle and playing every play, then maybe you need to say something to them privately or say something to me, and I will." But the bottom line is, you pop on the tape. There is jogging. There's not finishing plays. There's I put out a play on Twitter on Devin Lloyd. And I don't want to call him out individually, but the play speaks for itself. He jumps. There's a block coming down in a run play. Muma takes on his block. He doesn't take on his. He jumps away from it. What the hell is that? And so I think you had it all up, Tony. I think it's a cultural problem, but you can't absolve the coach from any blame and just put it on the players. Because otherwise, here's why, Tony. Pete. Well, here's why. What the hell do you need a coach for then if it's all on the players? You know the culture's established by your coach. Tom Coughlin established the culture for you guys the minute he walked in the building, the minute you guys walked in the building. So mistakes and I was watching the play trying to figure out what happened on the extra man on the field because they're getting off the field there. Devon Hamilton doesn't get off the field because
jogging.
He's jogging. You see he jogged, but at the end of the play, you see Roy Roberts of the play before it. I watched it. You see Roy Robertson Harris just jogging onto the field, and he doesn't get off. Yeah. Where's the communication there? And so I think the little things, when teams have issues with the little things, that goes to the coaching. To me, that goes to the coaching, the preparation, the coaching, the time you put in, the drive to be great. So I think it is a coaching problem. And if the coach is talking about the culture, he needs to go look in the mirror because that's where the problem is. If I'm the head coach of that team and I'm talking about culture, that's on me.
Well, I think, Pete, I'm not absolving anybody. I'm not saying it's all on the players. At the end of the day, but the players are responsible for the effort that is put on the field. That's my point. That
much you can, but don't you call him out for that, Tony? If you guys had a guy that wasn't putting in the effort, did you call him out in the film session?
Well, not only would it be called out by the players, the coaching staff you'd have been called out by everybody. And
of course.
Because, Pete, I'm a big believer, and we've said this on the show before. If you're allowing it, you're coaching it. I mean, so I don't think there's anyone absolved from the GM to the head coach to every player to everybody in the building is ultimately responsible. And right now you're 1-5 and you are not a good team. And you watch the tape and there's opportunities there to win football games throughout all these games at sans Buffalo probably. But we're not making the plays. And why? I think it goes back to structure, how you practice, accountability, player performance, knowing what to do. I mean, when you're 1-5, it's not one thing. And it's not. There's no magic formula or bullet that you're like, oh, this will just fix everything. And to me, that was hammered home when I heard those two comments, and I was like, wow. That's where we are as an organization.
Well, but not just that, Tony.
Quitting.
Let's talk about the culture and the roster. Okay, the roster really doesn't have a great roster. Let's be real, particularly on defense. Honestly, the roster's not great. But you watch the Arizona, and I'm going to use this as an example. The Arizona Cardinals, they got beat up yesterday, but they went to San Francisco a week ago. And their defensive talent, not very good. But you know what they do? They play hard. They play tough. They play physical. They get after it. Now, they don't have a lot of talent, so it's going to be exposed at times. The Jacksonville defense doesn't have a lot of talent. I'll be honest with you. I thought it was more talented before the season than I thought, than I now know. I made a major mistake, and I think a lot of us did. They're not that talented on defense. But there are times when they don't play hard. And that's rally to the ball, run to the ball, hit somebody, stand over them. When somebody does it, rally to him. You don't ever see that. You never see that. When there's a play made, do you ever see the guys running over and jumping on each other and getting into it? And you know what I mean? Having the swagger, the attitude? None of it. I just don't. Here's what it looks like to me as an outsider. And I'm not around the team all the time like you guys are. They look disinterested at times. And that's the worst thing. That's a cultural problem. That's a coaching problem. And that's a player problem. It's across the board. They don't look interested. And that to me would drive me crazy. If I was a player on that team and I saw other guys who looked disinterested, I'd be going nuts. And I know you would have too back in the day, Tony.
Well, I think, Pete, you bring up a lot of good points. I mean, and I don't even know where to start with everything you just said.
It's a long list.
Because I tend to agree with you. And I look, we're on the defensive side. We're going to talk about everything.
Yeah,
today.
we got plenty of time for offense.
As we talk about the defense, Pete, I have not understood since we made cuts back in late August, early September. We have 3 defensive ends on this team. One of them has been inactive every game except for the first one is a 7th round rookie. And so for large swaths of games, and yesterday this was the case, you are playing with 4 defensive tackles on the field. I don't care what you want. Like, you can label Eric Armstead as a DN. He's not a DN. He has played 3 technique, maybe in a 4-3 at times, a 4-3 under. He could be a big end that plays a 5 technique. But in sub, he is a 3 technique defense tackle. That's what he is. That's how he made his money. He was really good at it in San Francisco. And I look out there, and you have, in a 2-minute situation on the plus side of the 50 at the end of the half, and you have no defensive ends on the field.
No.
You have
Roy Robertson Harris. You have Roy Robertson Harris as the other end.
That's right. You only have 2 pass rushers. And I actually thought, I'm going to give, and we've talked about Trayvon and questioned his pass rush ability. I thought he played a pretty good game again yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, he's physical. He's pushing. He's getting squeezed in the pocket. So is Josh. Now, they need to get off and finish better at times, but there's no – I mean, those guys can rush the passer. They put stress
on tackles. But if they had help pushing from the – Tony, if they had help pushing from the inside,
yes,
they would be getting more sacks, and there would be sacks coming to those guys. There is no – there are plays you can sit there, and I think the left guard, I think it was Jenkins, must have pushed the Jaguar player down into the ground 4 or 5 – did you see that on tape? He pushed him into the ground 4 or 5 times and sat on him. It's incredible. There's no push whatsoever on the interior. And when Armstead goes in there, he ain't exactly pushing it either.
Yeah, I don't understand, and we're going to go to break here in a second. I don't understand the philosophy and the thinking of only having 2 defensive ends active on game day. And then, okay, if that's the case, you got to tell those guys, you better be in shape all week because you're going to play 80+ % of the snaps. That's because we have to have you on the field. And in 2-minute situations, you're not coming out. So get your wind and be ready. Because you can't affect the quarterback without those guys on the field.
No.
And too many times in key moments.
And they don't blitz.
Frankly, I don't understand it. No, they don't blitz.
They don't blitz.
Do not blitz.
No.
I don't understand it, Pete. I don't understand the philosophy or the thinking or the strategy of only having 2 defensive ends. I don't understand it.
I don't get that. I don't get that. But if you don't have pass rushers, don't you need to compensate for that a little bit By throwing a bunch of exotic different looks at him and trying to get to the quarterback?
If they can handle it.
They're not handling what they have now, JP. What's the difference? Go down swinging or go down taking body blows?
We've got plenty ahead. We've got to get to the offense in a little bit. They had some issues, obviously, with drops in the game. We've got to get to the secondary.
4 touchdowns.
You were there.
I was there.
I was there also and saw all of them. Linebacker play, secondary, all that's coming up as well. PRI Productions, the Southeast full-service event company, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com and learn more. And if you want Jaguars customized furniture for your home, check out ZipChair.com and browse all customizable options. ZipChair, furniture for fans. More on the culture topic as well a little bit later. Second hour, we'll have the Fanatics fan questions and much more ahead. We're off and running from London. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans.
We need to define a great deal in today's new home market because the so-called great deals that you find on every corner just aren't the same as the incredible opportunities you'll find with a new Dreamfinders home. How about 2.99% in year one in one of Dreamfinder's 15 communities across North Florida? Now that's a great deal. 2.99% interest rate in year one and a beautiful new Dreamfinders home. Visit DFHSalesEvent.com for our largest savings of the year on move-in ready homes. That's DFHSalesEvent.com.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Football and Miller Lite. Duval's greatest pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going well past postgame. Sunday night overtimes. Followed by Monday morning pride. Knocking on bar tops for luck. Kicking back on any given Sunday. You never forget the way some things taste. Jags football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Brooks Rehabilitation is proud to be the official rehabilitation partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are here for them, and we are here for you. Ranked #1 physical rehabilitation hospital in Florida by U.S. News and World Report, our playbook is individualized treatment and exceptional care to get you back to living your life. Brooks has cutting-edge technology and therapy solutions in every care setting, treating sports injury, orthopedics, brain, spinal injuries, and more. Go beyond your expectations with Brooks Rehabilitation.
Are you ready to love how you feel, look, and live in every season? At Elace, we offer more than just luxury med spa treatments. We provide a serene, judgment-free space where you can reconnect with the best version of you. Whether you want to refresh your natural look with Botox or Dysport, pamper yourself with a relaxing hydrofacial, or rejuvenate your complexion with laser resurfacing, our expert team in Jacksonville is here to tailor treatments to your needs. Visit Elace.com today and start your journey to loving yourself.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Defeated, obviously. I feel for the players and the coaches. We work extremely too hard, to be in this position. I feel like the guys are, they don't quit. They keep fighting. We got to figure out how to just get out of our way.
That's head coach Doug Peterson after the game at Spurs yesterday, and welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans. JP Shadrick, Tony Boselli. We're at the Grove Resort in Watford, just outside London. about a 20-minute train ride down into central London. Pete Prisco on the line with us from South Florida. We're on 1010XL AM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube, as we are each and every Monday. And, this going into the game, there had been 5 number 1 pick rookie quarterbacks to face off against the 32nd ranked pass defense. And all 5 times the quarterback had lost that matchup. It was usually a better day for the pass defense. Not yesterday, as Caleb Williams put together 4 touchdown passes against the 32nd ranked pass defense for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Cole Kmet, 2 touchdowns. Keenan Allen, the salty vet, with 2 touchdowns as well. Kmet was running all over this defense. We can discuss, obviously, we'll get to the offense for the Jags in a little bit on the show, guys. But when you got Cole Kmet running down the middle of the defense on that double screen fake and nobody's within 10 yards of him, and then he breaks through a tackle for a touchdown, then he's open in the back right corner for another touchdown. We've seen that a lot over the years, tight ends running wild, but yesterday was a tough one to watch, Tony.
Yeah, it was a great – listen, the touchdown, the first one to Kmet was a really well-designed play. We had a similar play when I was playing where you fake the screen both ways and you sneak the tight end up the middle, and it separates the defense. And
it always works. It always works. It works. San Francisco runs it a lot. It works all the time.
Didn't the Jags do that in the playoff game in Pittsburgh with Tommy Bohannon?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Bohannon did that. That's right.
So it usually works once. You can get it maybe once a game.
Right.
But you got to make the tackle. Make it first and goal in the 5.
Or chase him down from behind.
Well, you got to run.
Well, he wasn't going to catch him anyways.
He wasn't, but you still sprint, Pete.
Of course.
You still sprint.
Of course. We're talking about Devin Lloyd. There's plenty of video out there. He's jogging behind the play.
By the way, it wasn't just Devin. If you watched all 22, there's a bunch of guys that were.
There were more guys, and there were guys jogging in a lot of plays. On a scramble, later in the game when Caleb Williams scrambled, there's about 3 guys jogging on that play.
But you have to make the tackle at the 5. Is what you have to do.
Well, maybe he quit.
But that was a good play. The second,
he calls out people for quitting. You got to make a tackle, and he hadn't played. For a guy that hadn't played very well, he sure is. That's something to put your name behind. Look in the mirror, buddy. He hadn't played well at all. He's a contract year. He's been awful.
And if the second Kmet touchdown, there was a blown coverage because you're not going to ask Darnell Savage.
I'm going to call it out. I went back and watched the play. That's Devin Lloyd. Everybody across the board. Sometimes you have man on one side, zone on the other. This time, everybody was in man coverage except for the free safety. And you saw those two receivers cross, and Lloyd stands there as Kmet goes to the back of the end zone. That was his man. He's playing zone. He should be on Kmet to the back of the end zone.
Yeah, and Savage is over there by himself trying to figure out which one to cover because there's 2 guys.
Which way? We're going both ways.
And here's the play we're looking at right now. Caleb could have thrown to either guy. But these are the type of situations you can't allow.
Here it is. You can see it here easy.
And I'm not giving a pass to the coaching staff. The coaches' jobs are to put you in the right position and call the right defense and so on and so forth. But when the play's called, you have to go execute. You have to do your job. You have to understand what your job is, and you have to go full speed and execute it the best you can. And then if you still get beat, fine. You look yourself in the mirror, you're like, hey, I did the best I could. I went full speed. I did my assignment. They made a better play. That's football. That happens. What you can't accept is when you don't do your job, or you don't go full speed, or you don't finish a play, or you don't use the right technique, and you make it easy, or you don't catch the ball, or you have pre-snap penalties, or you don't get off the field and get 12 men on the field and extend drives. Pete, what's the most famous in the history of this organization of 12 men on the field extending a drive?
When was it? I don't
Come on,
remember.
You have to know this. 1996 playoffs against the Denver Broncos.
Oh yeah. Michael Dean Perry didn't get off.
We were
I was
not.
Thinking,
we were getting
asking
beat.
me once when the Jacksonville didn't get off.
No.
No.
We were down 2 scores in the playoffs. Offensively, we could do nothing. It was like we were underwater.
13-0, I think. It was 13-0 at that time.
We're punting. Michael Dean Perry jogs off the field, 12 men on the field, and we get a first down. We went on to score every possession for the rest of the game until we kneeled in victory formation at the end.
Yeah,
never punted again. Why? Mistakes like that give possessions to teams. That's how you lose. When you stop somebody, get off the field because you don't want to give them a second chance. And that was the most frustrating drive of the entire game for me. We weren't playing great. We're down. Offense gets together, makes it 21-10. Defense, get a sack. Man, you're fired up. You're going to get a 3 and out, get your ball right back to your offense. 5 or 6 minutes left in the third quarter. You're right in the game. You don't get off the field. You extend the drive. Then you did it again with a hold.
Well, technically, they had 2 sacks.
Points away.
They had 2 sacks that they should have had on the drive.
You're right. 1 on 12 men on the field, 1 on a hold.
Yep.
And
then they tackled him short of the first down to get him off the field again, and they had another hold.
That second hold was really questionable, by the way. I was looking for it on film.
I thought so. But there was also a collision there that they could have called it on the other guy, too, so that could have been called, too.
Sure. Yeah, but that's losing football. That's how you lose football games.
And here's the other part of that, Tony. We're talking about the Cole Kmet touchdown. When the whole secondary and linebackers are playing man coverage and you're the one guy playing zone coverage, that's not just coaching. That's you. That's you. If you're the only one, that's you. That's on Devin Lloyd. I mean, and so it goes back to your point about the players being responsible as much as the coaches. You could coach that all you want, and everybody's playing the right defense except one guy. That's on that one guy as much as anything.
But if you allow it, Pete, then it's on you as a coach too.
But what do you do? What do you do? Do you sit him?
How do you change that? Do you sit him down?
Like, here's my theory of the whole thing.
Who do you put in?
I don't know who you put in. But the bottom line, I know this. If you accept missed assignments, if you accept jogging, you accept, pre-snap, all the different things. If you allow it, it's not going to ever change. So, Pete, let me ask you a question. Would you rather have a more talented player who does not do the right thing, assignment-wise, or a less talented player who plays his off, is in the right spot, but might be a little limited, but at least you can trust them they're going to be in the right spot to give you an opportunity.
But who are you asking this about in reference to?
Anybody.
Because I don't think I don't know if it applies. I don't know if it applies. I mean,
what do you mean?
Me personally. So are you saying that who should be when everybody's healthy? Who should be those 2 linebackers who are on the field all the time?
Well, my opinion. When everyone's healthy, based on play right now, Foyer and Ventrell.
That's who I would play. But
right now. But not everyone's healthy. I'm not even talking about Devin Lloyd at this point.
You're not talking about this team. You're just talking about in general.
I'm talking in general. Like, at some point, there has to be accountability and consequences for not doing the right thing.
I agree. Sit a guy down. But have they done that with Devin Lloyd a couple different times already in his career?
I don't know.
They have. They did it early in his career. They've done that. He wasn't playing the assignment. He wasn't playing football. And look, he made some. I'll give the. He made a couple plays in the run game.
Sure.
But.
Well, I'm not saying. But let's be clear. I'm not. The only reason we're talking about Devin
coverage. He's a liability in coverage. Let's be real. He can't cover.
We just showed the play. Devin Lloyd
is
not
run.
like
He doesn't
not the
run.
problem. But Pete, you'd admit that's not the problem. The whole thing's a problem.
Well, yeah, they're not talented. We could go on and show. We could show they traded up to get him.
Yes.
Then they drafted Muma a couple rounds later. Then they paid Alua Khan and extended Alua Khan. And then you draft Ventrell Miller. What round was he? The 4th round? Was it the 4th?
Yep. 4th.
Well, so all those assets put into the linebacker position, are they good there? The answer to that question is no. And they can talk till they're blue in the face. The answer is no. And so what's the solution to that? Well, you shouldn't have traded. If Devin Lloyd isn't, you shouldn't extend to Luakon twice. That to me makes no. Here's the thing about people in this town rip Shad Khan to shreds. Rip him to shreds. Shad Khan has gone out and spent money on every guy that the GM wanted him to spend money on. Corner, spend it. Defensive end, spend it. Quarterback, spend it. Luakon restructuring, give him a new deal, spend it. Roy Robertson Harris, let's give him a new deal. Gave him the money. You keep going on and on. The sheriff got a new deal, restructured it, gave it to him. They've given out a lot of money to a lot of players. And the reality is they haven't got return bang for the buck. He doesn't know anything about those players. He's just getting guidance from the guy who supposedly does. And that guidance is we need to do this, 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 and this. Are they a better football team because of all those decisions? Absolutely not. Then you want to go further. You replace the wide receiver in Zay Jones with one who can't run a lick. Okay? And he dropped two touchdowns. He caught 2, but he dropped 2. You replaced, I don't know what you did with Armstead. You went out and spent a lot of money on a guy who maybe he just went over the cliff. I mean, that's a distinct possibility. He was hurt in the preseason, and he's not close to being the same player he was. So he spent a lot of money on an injured player. We've seen that before. Then Darby, I mean, are they getting return on that investment from Darby? No. Monteric Brown's been better than Darby. So
Monteric Brown plays well.
What? Monteric Brown?
I thought Monteric Brown's played pretty well.
Yes. And so you got no return on your investment other than Morse in free agency. That's it. Then status quo on the offensive line. Let's pay him Cleveland. And he's been okay. I mean, he's been solid. I'm not going to kill him for that one. But again, don't kill the owner. The owner is spending the money in large part because that GM is telling him to. And so you really want to look at it? The roster stinks because they've made stupid moves. They've made moves to go replace guys just for the sake of replacing them. Is Gabe Davis better than Zay Jones?
No.
Not right now.
Is what Eric Armstead given you, is he better than – I'm trying to think who they would have had in there. He's not. And is Darby any better than Darius Williams, who they had?
Yeah. I think – your broader point, and we got to go to break here. Yeah. Your broader point, Pete, I agree. Like, we have an owner in Shad Khan. And historically in this league, the complaints about owners is when they don't spend money. They don't invest. Well, if you're a Jacksonville Jaguar fan, you can be upset about the record. You can be upset about the performance. You can be upset about who's making the decisions as the GM or the coach or whatever. You can be upset about all that. But Pete is right. You cannot question the commitment of Shad Khan of investing in this franchise and giving all the resources to the GM to get the players that they want. That cannot be questioned because he has spent a lot of money, and he spent a lot of money this offseason based on the recommendation of the GM. And so I think that is what your point, Pete, and I tend to agree with it. Because in the history of the NFL, Pete, you've covered it forever. What do fans complain about? The owner doesn't invest. The owner won't spend the money.
Cheap owners. Yeah, cheap owners.
Cheap owner. Let me tell you what. We don't have one of those. We have an owner who wants to win and will spend the money.
One quick note on that. When Shad Khan said that stuff before the season about the most talented team, and he did say ever in Jaguars history, who do you think told him that? Because Shad Khan can't make that assessment. He can't make that evaluation. That's coming into his ear from the general manager. Guaranteed 100%. And if you say that as the general manager, you say that, the owner buys that, and the team doesn't live up to it, then who's on the hook? And in the general manager, it's that head coach who's worried about his culture. That's who that is.
Well, I'll say this and we'll go to break.
Yes, we need to go.
My understanding is that what Shad was referring to since he's been the owner, in fairness.
That's not what he said, though.
Okay. I believe that's what he meant.
Plenty ahead. We've got to get to the offense when we come back as well. There were some issues on that side of the ball yesterday. We celebrated the 100th episode of Jags AM last week. Still time to enter for a chance to win prizes to celebrate. Jaguars.com/100-episode trivia, and you'll have a chance to win a Fred Taylor jersey, a copy of Jags to Riches, or an 89 Los Originals Jags London t-shirt. And sign up your furry friend for the Jaguars official four-legged fan club for pets, presented by Forever Vets Animal Hospital. Your pet will receive access to exclusive merchandise, events, and sweepstakes throughout this season. Visit Jaguars.com/promotions/four-legged fan club today. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans.
Navigating the current housing market and figuring out your best move when it comes to a mortgage isn't your full-time job, but it's one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. That's where the experts at Jet Home Loans get into the game and coach you to your ultimate goal of getting not just the right loan, but the perfect loan for you, the home of your dreams. Jet Home Loans works with you all the way, from application to closing, making sure your game plan is perfect. Make the call to Jet Home Loans and let their team join your team to make your dreams take flight. Visit jethl.com.
You love free, and at Ameris Bank, so do we. That's why we're proud to offer worry-free, hassle-free Ameris Bank free checking. Manage your money your way with convenient access to digital, mobile, and telephone banking, all with no monthly service fee or minimum balance requirements. At Ameris Bank, we're with you. For more information or to open an account, visit our local bankers in person or online at amerisbank.com/free checking. Other fees such as overdraft fees may apply. Ameris Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Tackle your marketing needs with Kessler Creative. Providing direct mail services for more than a decade, Kessler has a wide range of services from small mailers to large banners and signs. Draft Kessler as your first pick to receive the best targeted mail list. Elevate your business and be on the winning team with Kessler Creative. Kessler Creative, results-driven marketing and proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
Hey Jags fans, stop dreaming of creating your game day fan cave and build the Jaguars den of your dreams with ZipChair. When it comes to maximum comfort, ZipChair.com is the only place for officially licensed Jaguars recliners, sofas, bar stools, office and gaming chairs, all featuring high-quality embroidered Jags logos. Crack open a few cold ones in the comfort of a Zip Chair and make your home the place to be on game day. Head over to ZipChair.com and save 20% today. Use code JagsRadio at checkout. ZipChair.com, furniture for fans.
Jacksonville builders score big with DL Cabinetry. As the official cabinet supplier of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they offer top quality kitchen and bathroom cabinetry for any project. Enjoy fast turnaround, complimentary design, and great prices. Visit dlcabinetry.com today to learn more and to become a dealer. Limited spots available. DL Cabinetry, the winning choice for builders.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans. Looking for the MVP of the truck game? You better check out the 2024 Ford F-150. Loaded with impressive capability and game-changing tech, you can dominate work, play, and everything in between. Test drive an F-150 at your local Ford dealer, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans on 1010XL AM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube, JP Shadrick and Tony Boselli. At the Grove, the team headquarters this week outside of London, ahead of the Jaguars-Patriots matchup at Wembley coming up this Sunday. We are, of course, rehashing the game at Spurs yesterday when the Jaguars lost to the Bears and didn't look good really in any phase of the football game. And We got to get to the offense. We've been touching on defense a lot,
Yeah,
and rightly
let's do
so.
it.
I mean, they gave up 4 passing touchdowns to the number 1 overall pick rookie quarterback. But on the other side, it was a battle of number 1 pick quarterbacks because Trevor Lawrence was in there. And as you referenced earlier, Tony, it wasn't like he had a bad game. The Jaguars had some running issues. Travis Etienne left the game with a hamstring injury, and Doug Peterson said today that it's more likely week to week than day to day, so that doesn't sound good for the near term for Etienne. Dearness Johnson got many more snaps than Tank Bigsby in the game, and a lot of that it was later when they had to throw it, and Dearness has kind of been that third down passing guy. So where do you sit right now with what the offense had to do yesterday? Yeah, 4 drops, 4 touchdowns dropped in the game obviously will lose you a lot of football games.
So let's talk about the run game first, and then we'll get to the drops and the quarterback. So last week against the Colts, we were talking about how the big numbers they put in the run game up, good run game numbers.
Yeah.
If you look at that, Pete and JP, Tank Bigsby had, 19-yard run that was really well blocked and physical run that led to a touchdown. And then he had the 65-yarder that should have been a 2-yard loss. It was defensed perfectly. He had missed tackles and a great effort and run by Tank Bigsby. I believe if you look at the rest of the runs that game, I think they averaged like 1.9 to 2 yards a carry.
Yeah, it wasn't like they were grinding anybody.
If you took those out. And so, okay, they had no big runs against the Bears, and they struggled to run the ball effectively. And then you have Etienne getting hurt, a lot of questions about Dearness Johnson, snap count compared to Tank Bigsby's. I've been a proponent of Bigsby. I think he needs more touches. So why less snaps, less touches for Bigsby? I think for 2 reasons. One, JP touched on it. Where the game was late, I think they trust Dearness Johnson more in protection in the passing game, so they're having to throw more. And then 2, this is a lot of conjecture for me. This second one is the Bears have created the most turnovers since 2023 in the NFL. The Bears are very good. Eberflus preaches this, practices it, of punching out the football. I mean, they are ball hawks. And I wonder if there was a lack of trust. No one has told me this. This is just me guessing. Did they feel more comfortable with Dearness out there at times? Because Tank has had some ball security issues. He fumbled again this game.
He fumbled Sunday on the kickoff.
And he fumbled. That's what I'm saying. He fumbled this game, and he fumbled last week
into the end zone
on that great run in the end zone, and was fortunate to fall back on top of it. And so, did they just trust Dearness in the situation, the combination of game situation, more passing, so he'd probably be out there more anyways, and then give him maybe less touches because they were afraid of ball security by Tank? Is it a trust issue? I don't know.
By the way, Dearness Johnson, 35 snaps in the game. Bigsby was 17.
Yeah, and how many in the first half? That's the question. You got to go look back and look at the first, because you can talk about the ones at the end of the game. And by the way, one of them was on a kneel down at the half. They both were on the field, so there's 1 snap for Bigsby. So that means he had 1 less.
Right.
So, right? They were
16.
both on for the kneel down. So, bottom line is, if he's got a fumbling problem and you don't trust him, then that's a major issue. Because then if Etienne's not in there, you really don't have a feature back. Or a guy you think you could feature.
And I'm not saying they don't trust him, Pete. I'm guessing.
You're not wrong about that, because you know who else I heard talking about that? Fred Taylor. On this morning, I listened to him this morning. I heard him this morning, and Fred said, you can't put the ball on the ground or you're not going to play. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And that's a lot. How many times now has he put the ball on the ground in the 6 games? Four times, I think. I think it's 4.
It's way too many. Way too many.
Well, he's fumbled. Is it 2 kickoffs he's fumbled?
Yes.
Yes.
He had the fumble in Indy. That's 3. I don't know if there's another one.
Maybe there's one more, but 3 is too many. I mean, the bottom line is if you don't. But again, they weren't running the ball, whether it was him or Dearness or
they weren't effective.
Earl Campbell or whoever in his prime, or O.J. Simpson back in his day. I mean, they weren't running the ball. And here's part of the problem, Tony. We were talking about effort, and this isn't effort But how many times did the defensive back Gordon slice in there and get a run play from the backside because nobody blocked him?
He was all over the field.
Yeah, they had some effective run blitzes, and at least that's what they looked like. Or, Gordon was just super aggressive. And a lot of times the responsibility is on that inside receiver, that slot receiver, to dig him out, and they just couldn't get to him.
And one time they had two receivers standing over there, and he was the only guy there. And it was Kirk and Thomas, and neither one of them touched him. I mean,
no,
that to me was a problem. I thought there were times there was no push in the middle. Morse wasn't as his usual self. I don't think he played as well as he had been.
I think this was. Yeah, I thought watching the tape, this was the worst that Mitch had played, because I think Mitch has played good football.
I do too, but he had problems with the big guy in the middle there at times.
Yeah.
Who else struggled in the run? The laziness in the run game, again, from backside. They don't finish. There was no rhythm to the run game whatsoever. None.
All right, we got to take our final break of this first hour of Jaguars Happy Hour. We'll come back and get into the passing game and the drops and what could be next in that regard on offense. Then coming up in the second hour, Fanatics fan questions. We'll keep it real. We've got a lot to get to, rehashing the Jaguars' loss to the Bears at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium yesterday. And the Jaguars are going head-to-head with the Packers for the crucial catch game October 27th. We'll fight cancer through early detection, risk reduction, and awareness all game long. Lock in your tickets at Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans.
We need to define a great deal in today's new home market because the so-called great deals that you find on every corner just aren't the same as the incredible opportunities you'll find with a new Dreamfinder's home. How about 2.99% in year one in one of Dreamfinder's 15 communities across North Florida? Now that's a great deal. 2.99% interest rate in year one and a beautiful new Dreamfinder's home. Visit DFHSalesEvent.com for our largest savings of the year on move-in ready homes. That's DFHSalesEvent.com.
For us, treating cancer is personal. We're Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center, and we know that every patient is unique. So you'll have a plan created by world-renowned doctors and tailored to your needs. And everyone here will support you every step of the way, so you're physically, emotionally, and spiritually strong for the journey. Don't face cancer with anything less than the team at Baptist MD Anderson. Locations in downtown, Baptist South, and Clay. Visit BaptistMDAnderson.com.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents in 50 United States and DC 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank NA, member FDIC.
Looking for the perfect place to host a business trip, corporate group, or social gathering? Look no further than the award-winning Sheraton Jacksonville Hotel, proudly part of the Marriott family of hotels. Centrally located next to the St. John's Town Center off Gate Parkway in JTB, they offer everything you need, whether you're hosting a meeting or just unwinding with friends at the BC Grill and Patio. Discover comfort and convenience like never before. Search Sheraton Jacksonville or call 904-564-4772 today.
Chelsea here. Another month and another high utility bill. Those old windows and doors might be the culprit, letting valuable energy escape. At Renewal by Anderson, our energy-efficient windows and doors have the latest advanced technology, keeping your home comfortable all year round. Renewal by Anderson has a limited-time offer. Buy 4 windows and or patio doors and get the 5th one free. Plus, enjoy 0 money down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 12 months. Some restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com for all the details. License number CGC 1527613.
It's game time, Jaguars fans, and Publix knows that football is all about pairings. a high-scoring offense paired with a stingy defense, a rocket-armed QB paired with a dynamic wide receiver. And at Publix, you can pair hot deli chicken tenders with savory dips, delicious sub-platters with ice-cold beverages, and you can pair these tailgate essentials with an entire parking lot full of Jaguars fans chanting, Duval! Gear up for your tailgate at Publix, the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's a long game. I think as a team, we can't be so fragile. It's not going to go perfect every week. Most weeks aren't going to go perfect. You're going to have to sometimes dig yourself out of a hole. We got down in the second quarter and had an opportunity to come out at halftime and didn't take advantage of it. So, no, I don't think that was – obviously, you look back, every play matters, and we had plenty of mistakes. But, no, I don't think that was – a huge momentum shift. Obviously, you'd love to make it, but no, it's on all of us.
Trevor Lawrence, Jaguars quarterback, after the game at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium yesterday, a loss to the Bears. And welcome back, Jaguars Happy Hour. Final few moments of our opening hour of this 2-hour program each and every Monday, 4 o'clock on 1010XL AM, Jaguars.com, and Jaguars YouTube. 4 dropped touchdowns, 2 from Gabe Davis, 1 from Brian Thomas. Christian Kirk had 1 as well to throw in there. So that's the difference in the football game, Tony. That's one of the differences in the football game.
Yeah,
it's one. The 2 of them came in garbage time, kind of, too.
No, but I think it's more, Pete, it's almost like an epidemic.
Systematic.
Yeah, it's systemic.
Systemic,
It's like it's a systemic, you can't, catch the ball, right? Catch the ball. What are you laughing about, JP?
Just nothing. Go ahead.
Systematic
and systemic, but go ahead.
I was right on that one.
You're right.
Pete was wrong. Let's just be clear. Because everyone, this show, you two love pointing out when I say something wrong. Let's just review the tape.
No, I was wrong. I said systemic.
Let's talk about accountability. We've been talking about accountability in this organization. We're going to have accountability on the show.
I said it
wrong. You just screwed up. But, Pete, I'm going to our friend JP, who on the last segment said, we're going to start the next hour.
Well,
he had forgotten we had a whole other segment.
I corrected
he can't even read.
At the start of this segment, I corrected it.
JP, just read what's in front of you. How hard is that?
Well, he wasn't here for 2 weeks. He was back down on the practice squad, so now he's back up playing, and he's so nervous or something. I don't know.
There's a lot of quitting, JP.
Wow.
A lot of quitting, JP.
That's bold. That's bold.
Well, I'm just saying.
That's bold.
When yours truly makes a harmless mistake, 2 people on the show are quick.
I admitted my mistake. I said it
jump. JP still hasn't admitted his mistake. He just
I
said
did. I literally started this segment saying this is the final. Anyway.
Yeah, but you were chuckling about it. Nobody who heard you before would have known that you did that. That's how he tried to admit his mistake.
Exactly. He wouldn't have known.
I said it. I said it wrong. JP, say it. Come on, it's easy. Let it out. We'll all let it out. Say it. You were wrong.
Come on, say you're wrong.
I was wrong.
Thank you.
I apologize.
Now I feel better. But back to the systemic issue of drops. I read somewhere, and maybe this is a fake stat, so I don't know to believe everything I see on the internet, but I think in the last 2 years we lead the league in drops.
I wouldn't be shocked by that.
Isn't that right? Is that right?
That is correct. That is correct.
Catch the ball.
Two seasons
in the hands,
plus now.
catch it.
Yeah, the last 2 seasons plus the rest of this one, they lead in drops.
Get on the jugs machine. I don't know. Catch more balls. I have no idea. Focus. Concentrate. I don't know what the answer is. I didn't play wide receiver. I can tell you if you're not pass setting right what to do. But if you're not catching the ball, it goes back to what we talked about 3 weeks ago now, I guess now, after the Houston game, Pete. And everyone wants to yell and scream about Press Taylor is a terrible play caller, terrible offense, blah, 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 blah. And we went back to Houston. And my point was, how about you just make the plays are there? And this was on Trevor. If Trevor hits those 2 touchdowns, probably beat Houston. Probably win that game. Those are great play calls. We made the plays last week offensively against the Colts. What happened? We scored 37 and we won. This week, you dropped 4 touchdowns. Be interesting. If you make the plays that are there, the plays that are called, execute, and do what you're supposed to, things work out okay. It doesn't guarantee you a win, Pete, but it gives you a chance.
And the first one is the other. Look, 3 of the other ones came when it was 35-16. You're still supposed to catch them, but it was 35-16. The Gabe Davis one down the sideline, great throw, has to catch it, 35-16. The Brian Thomas one came right after that, 35-16, and I think the Kirk one was even earlier, right there too, in the end zone. So those ones, they hurt, and you're supposed to catch them, but you're not winning the game because of them. The one on the opening drive, that set the tone for the day. You go get 7 there, and I think it's a different feel right away than 3. 3 is a lose. That's a L. That's a losing situation because you got to get 7 there. And so to me, that one is the biggest one of all of them, and that really kind of set the tone for the day. But you got to catch all of them. I agree with you.
They had to settle for a 14-play, 8-minute field goal drive on their opening possession, and that's how.
Well, and then they got in the red zone, and they had 2 false starts too that he actually overcame because the guy. That's the kind of thing that's been plaguing them all year long. Every time they get in the scoring range, they have some kind of stupid penalty or mistake. It's just, and that goes back to what we opened the show with about coaching and culture and everything else.
All right, guys, no quit in this show. We've got another hour to go.
Got it right this time, JP.
A whole hour ahead of Jaguars Happy Hour, recapping the Bears and the Jaguars. And yeah, we'll keep it real when we come back, if we haven't done that enough already. The Fanatics fan questions coming up as well. Oh yeah, off and running. We're 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Navigating the current housing market and figuring out your best move when it comes to a mortgage isn't your full-time job, but it's one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. That's where the experts at Jet Home Loans get into the game and coach you to your ultimate goal of getting not just the right loan, but the perfect loan for you, the home of your dreams. Jet Home Loans works with you all the way, from application to closing, making sure your game plan is perfect. Make the call to Jet Home Loans and let their team join your team to make your dreams take flight. Visit jethl.com.
It's not about how you start the job. It's about finishing what you start. The Ford F-150 truck can help. Get the freedom to choose between available gas, Power Boost Hybrid, or all-electric powertrains, all delivering the power, capability, and efficiency needed to get the job done right. Just another reason why Ford F-Series is the best-selling truck in America 47 straight years. Ford F-150. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Ranked as the nation's best public university by the Wall Street Journal, the University of Florida is on a mission to transform education. UF continues to help grow the economy through research breakthroughs and leadership in AI. And with its nationally recognized career services, UF students and graduates have never been better prepared to make a difference in the world. To learn more about how the University of Florida fuels bold ideas that make an impact around the globe, visit fromflorida.ufl.edu.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jacksonville builders score big with DL Cabinetry. As the official cabinet supplier of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they offer top quality kitchen and bathroom cabinetry for any project. Enjoy fast turnaround, complimentary design, and great prices. Visit dlcabinetry.com today to learn more and to become a dealer. Limited spots available. DL Cabinetry, the winning choice for builders.
At Publix, you can tackle everything from pregame prep to postgame cleanup with prices that are never out of bounds. This week at Publix, save $10 with a digital coupon when you spend $40 on select P&G products. Tackle everything from pregame prep with brands like Crest, Head & Shoulders, and Old Spice to postgame cleanup with brands like Bounty, Dawn, Tide, and Febreze. Clip your digital coupon now. Available at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
He's just one man, obviously, and we've got to play better, all around, everybody, and he included. He knows that. There's ownership in that. I mean, coaches the same way. I take full responsibility, obviously, but we all need to be better.
Head coach Doug Peterson after the game at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London yesterday. A Bears 35-16 win over the Jaguars. And welcome back. It's hour 2 of Jaguars Happy Hour, presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings. Before the game, after the game, and during the game. We're on 1010XL AM, Jaguars.com, and Jaguars YouTube. The Jaguars defense gave up 4 passing touchdowns to rookie quarterback Caleb Williams of the Bears, the number 1 overall pick, 2 to tight end Cole Kmet, 2 to veteran wide receiver Keenan Allen. And the Jaguars offense had issues, drops, pre-snap penalties, key penalties really in big moments on both sides of the ball for the Jags, and players after the game starting to question the fight in the team, as Andre Sisco was quoted after the game saying he saw some quit out there at Spurs. Now the Jags are now 1-5, and a team that, as Doug Peterson put it, is on the brink. So let's see this week. Back across town in London at Wembley Stadium against the 1-5 New England Patriots. The Jags now 6-6 all-time in London, 4-5 at Wembley, and now 2-1 at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. JP Shadrick, Tony Boselli, and Pete Prisco recapping the game that was at Spurs. And it was not good, is what it was.
Well, I mean, just recap what we've talked about so far. I still go back to the comment after the game by Andre Sisco, quit. I just cannot believe. Like, that's the Cardinal. Like, that's like.
Did you see that in the game tape?
I saw jogging. I saw not great effort would be what we would have termed, and I think they still would say this today, a loaf. You get a loaf. Like,
but we've seen that a lot. But, Tony, we've seen it a lot this year. It's not just this game.
No, that's what I'm saying. But Pete, you know this. Like one of the biggest shots you can take at somebody is that they quit.
Correct.
Like there's certain things that like you don't say about a guy like that he quit, or if you do, you're taking a shot at him and really questioning who they are as a professional.
Or
you're questioning them as who they are as a professional. Right. If you say you quit, there's like for me, there's a couple. You quit because that speaks to my effort, my professionalism, like my showing up for my teammates, my accountability. Those are all questioned when you say I quit. And then as an offensive lineman, like the other thing you didn't want to hear is I don't want to hear about that, and don't call me soft.
Soft.
Like you didn't want to be a soft team or a soft player.
Correct.
Like those are like the two. Like those are like the two. Like just knives in the back. And
right.
We didn't hear the.
You don't ever want to hear either one of those.
No, we didn't hear soft. So take that off the board. But we heard one of them. Quit. Week 6. We're talking about quitting. What the heck is going on in Duval? Well, I guess right now in London.
Yeah.
But what's going on? Quit?
How do you come out of that, though? How do you come back from that?
Well, I mean, it was compounded it's kind of compounded by the fact that the coach talked about the culture.
That's the other thing.
That's like the fire was started and he just threw kerosene on it. I mean, because he didn't. When a coach opens that line of questioning up, that's never a good thing because it's not going to stop. It doesn't stop. Now you got to ask about quit. You got to answer about quit. You got to answer about what you meant when you talked about the culture. And, I mean, to me, then we was asked about meeting with Shad. I guess he met with Shad before he even went to the podium yesterday, right?
He does
that a lot.
In fairness, my understanding, I'm not down there, but I'm pretty sure this is right. Every game, win or lose, Shad goes in and meets with Doug and Trent after the game. I think that happens every game, Pete. So that was not an anomaly.
Which is why some of the media get angry that it takes them so long to get to the locker, to get to the post-game interview. And yesterday, somebody said it was an hour.
I was told it was. I left. I was told.
Tony's like, I'm out of here. I got reservations in Central London.
A steak to go eat or something.
I got to be honest with you. After watching that game and how I felt about everything, I told Jeff and Frank and John Deneen, I said, guys, clean your stuff up. Let's go. We got a car waiting for us. We're leaving now. Pete, I was doing the sprint to the car to get out of that stadium. I was done. But I was told it was 55 minutes.
55?
55 minutes, yeah.
That's ridiculous.
That's what I was told.
That's ridiculous. That should not happen. I'm sorry. It should not happen.
Well, it did.
Well,
now,
now he's got to – so today, is he going to meet with the media today?
Already did. He did a Zoom earlier today.
Did anyone ask about culture or quitting? If they didn't, it's a shame.
He did, yeah.
Oh, they did.
And basically he said, yeah, the culture thing, yeah, we don't want a losing culture. I mean, that he kind of –
What about the quit? Did anyone ask, say, Andre Sisco said that your team quit?
He said he had not had a chance. The players were off today because the schedule's a little different this week. They're off today. They'll be back tomorrow on the field Wednesday. So really hadn't had a chance to sit down with Andre is what he said in the Zoom earlier.
That's
today.
fair.
That might have changed.
That is fair.
Since then. That was not that much earlier.
That's fair. I mean, that's a fair response by Doug.
Aren't they the same hotel? Aren't they the same hotel?
Yeah,
Pete, as you know, Pete, hold on. Come on, you're smart. If players have all day Monday off and they get back to the hotel after a game, let's call it 7, what do you think they did? You think they were hanging around the hotel last night and all day today?
Well, no, they were probably out celebrating the quit.
No, this is what I think people don't understand. These are human beings that
I know.
This is their job.
They went out to dinner or something,
they went out to dinner. They probably may have family or friends in London. Maybe they stayed the night in London because they, and going to go do some sites today. I mean, I would tell everyone listening to us, what do you do on your day off?
Right.
You go do stuff.
Yeah.
You're not. Let me tell you what you're not doing on your day off. Nobody listening to the show on their day off is looking for their boss after a bad day in the office and saying, "Hey, can we hang out and talk?" I mean,
no, but if your boss calls you and says, "I want to talk to you," you're going. Particularly if doing your job up to your potential, you're going.
You are. I agree, but you also know sometimes the boss doesn't want to be around the employees either. Sometimes the boss needs a break. It's like, what? I'm going to see you guys on Tuesday. I'll wait till Tuesday to address this. Everyone needs 24 to 36 hours.
I get it. But if something like that is said in my building, in my locker room, in my team, I'm addressing it the next day and making it go away.
That's fair.
Yep.
That's fair.
I make it go away. I used to tell Coughlin that all the way. I go, why do you let it fester? Just say it and make it go away. If you don't say it, then Wednesday it's now a story, and Thursday it's now a story, and Friday. Just say it. Make it go away. If he had come out today and said, I am not happy with what Andre said, I haven't talked to him, but I will talk to him, then maybe it would have gone for one day. Now he's got to go talk to Andre tomorrow? And then it becomes a story again on Wednesday, and then you got to go back in the locker room on Thursday and get Andre, or wherever you get these guys nowadays, and get Andre's side of the story. So it's now a 4-day story where it could have been nipped in the bud right away. That's the difference. That's what if I'm a coach, I handle it that way.
And Pete, that's fair. That's fair criticism or fair analysis. I'm just saying everyone handles it differently, to your point. But it's their day off. Let people
I know.
It's okay.
And by the way, we know days off in London and nights out in London can end up in some fun fracases around that team back in the day.
not, Pete. Let's hope not.
And it was a long time ago. There's a statute of limitations on that, isn't there?
I'm not commenting on that. I just hope everyone had a lovely evening, enjoyed themselves, and are back safe tomorrow. That's all I hope. But it's a day off, and players should go enjoy themselves and take their day off. And win, lose, or draw. It's your day off. Everyone handles it differently. Some guys.
Right. It's your job. It's your job. That's one thing fans sometimes lose sight of. It's their job. You're not happy with the way you handled your job on Sunday, but your day off is your day to do what you want to do. It's your job. And then when you come back on Tuesday, then you're back at it again. I agree with you 100%.
You're back at work. And everyone does it different. Some guys, I've known guys that after a loss, they don't want to see anybody. They don't want to do anything. They want to get back in the film. They just are so mad. They literally can't do anything else, and they can't be around people. And then I know other guys that they're upset that they lost, and it was miserable, and they're not happy. But for them, the best thing to do is just to go forget about it for 24 hours and go do something else. And there's not, by the way, one's not better than the other. The person who is grinding that doesn't make them a better player, grinding and mad and miserable to be around, compared to the guy who's just compartmentalizes it, and I'll deal with this in 24 to 36 hours. They're just different approaches, different personalities. So I don't think it's a big deal.
Well, it's like after a game, people always read people's reactions after the game. After the game ends, your team got thumped, and you're over there shaking hands with guys you know. I never had a problem with that, ever. I
did not either. I remember, Pete, I don't know if you remember this. We were playing, I think it was, God, I don't know who we played. We lost. We lost a close game. It was early years. And Mark was smiling, shaking hands with the other quarterback and talking to him because he knew him. And I remember the next day on talk radio and Brunell doesn't care. Why is he smiling after a loss? And I'm like, you people, are you kidding me? He's going to see a friend. If you had a bad day at the office, what do you do after a bad day at office? Are you not allowed to smile anymore? Come on.
Right, but here's one that does bother me a little bit, Tony, and I've noticed this on the tape too. Body language.
During the game, that's different, Pete. I think you can analyze that during the game. I agree with you there.
And you've noticed it by watching tape. The receivers sometimes on this team have awful body language.
How so, Pete?
If a ball. Now, Brian Thomas he has some bad body language and the ball doesn't come in his way or overthrown or whatever. And some of the other guys, it's not as good either. Just you go, and Tony knows what I'm talking about because you watch the tape. You've seen it. Even on the underthrown pass to Brian Thomas, body language wasn't great there. Right? It was almost like,
I'm going to be careful here, Pete, I'm going to be careful being too critical because, as you know, you covered me. I had some choice words on the sidelines and didn't have the best reaction to maybe quarterbacks holding the ball too long or doing something at times on the sideline, or my offensive line coach or head coach saying something I didn't like and
Yeah, but you wouldn't show I think body language for wide receivers kind of shows up the quarterback a little bit.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I don't like it. I'm not excusing it.
Are you talking about some of the Gabe Davis stuff last week?
Yeah, I think but that happens. It's emotion, whatever.
But Brian Thomas sometimes it's like the ball goes when he's open. If the ball goes in the other spot, it's just and don't get me wrong. Keenan and Jimmy did the same thing too. So it's probably part of the part of the DNA of the position, but
my bigger issue is this. If we're talking, my bigger issue is where I will deem the guys who bought tickets like fans and are watching as the play's going on. That's my issue. For body language, yes. Body language, you need to have good body language. You need to be supportive. You need to have energy. I think this team lacks urgency. I think this team lacks energy at times for whatever reason. I've said that since day one, opening day. It doesn't feel like there's juice on the sidelines, juice on the field. You mentioned guys rallying around, high-fiving, doing their thing after big plays, celebrating. You just don't feel that for whatever reason. I can't put my finger on why, but the thing that just sits in my craw is guys watching. I'm like, buy a ticket. The fans are there to watch.
And it happens a lot. It happens a lot. Hey, here's the other thing. You're talking about play calling and scheme and everything and how they make the plays against the Texans and they catch those passes and everything. Here's what I'm going to get a little critical here, okay? Why do they wait so long? Why do they wait so long on Sunday to drive the ball down the field?
I think they want to get Trevor in a rhythm early with some easy completions. I don't know that. That's my take.
Okay, if you're paying okay, let's just say that's the truth. You're paying a quarterback $55 million a year and you're worrying about him getting into a rhythm? There's a problem. There's your problem.
I'm gonna remind you of something. Just what a guy makes doesn't really matter after you pay him. Because at the end of the day, everybody's different, and guys who make a lot of money can go through hard times, and sometimes you have to help those guys get in the rhythm.
That's not what I'm saying, Tony. I'm saying if you're protecting your $55 million quarterback, then
I don't think they're protecting. I think they're trying to. I disagree with you, Pete, on this one. I don't think it's an issue. I think they're trying to help him have the most possible success, and they think, and we can argue whether they're right or wrong.
Well, they're wrong.
I think it's okay. Well, I don't. I think it's the right thing. I said it 2 weeks ago on the show. If I was based on Trevor was struggling a little bit, it was obvious after the Houston game. He wasn't playing to his potential. I'm still a big believer that he is a guy who will win a Super Bowl in this with this franchise. And I thought he was in a funk. And I think the way you help guys like that get out of the funk is get them some easy completions, get them in a rhythm, get them going. We see that in every sport.
Yeah, but I think they put him in the funk by constantly preaching turnover. And for the first four games this year, how many times did he turn the ball over the first 4 games this year? One?
I think not he had one interception, and in the last 2 weeks he has 3 interceptions now, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you do that to somebody, you turn him into a robot. And I think they turned him into a robot. And that's on them.
Pete, I know that's your belief.
It is my belief.
I'm not even going to. I know. I'm not even arguing the point. I think it's fine to help a guy get in a rhythm. I think it's fine. I have no issues with that at all.
We've got to come back.
I will say this, and I jotted this down.
Yes, Pete.
On the first third down play where he hits Thomas on the out route.
Yeah.
Remember that one? For first down,
yes.
The first opening drive.
Yep.
Good play, right?
Yes.
Good play. You move the chains, it's a good play.
Yeah.
But he had Kirk on the second level for what would have been like a 30-yard gain. And I don't know if you saw that on tape, Tony, but it's there. And he had no pressure.
It was a corner route.
And no pressure, so he could stand there and make that throw. That, to me, is one of the most concerning things about the way they're playing. Until he has to, and he had to in the second half, he hit the shot down the field to Ingram when he fumbled. He took the shot down the field to Thomas. They're not doing it. They got to do more of that.
So I know.
I love the design. By the way, the design of that play. The design of that play to Thomas, loved it. Put him in jet motion and got him up the field. The only problem I had with that play was, what the hell was Gabe Davis doing? He's in man coverage, cross the face of his guy and keep going, and he holds. Okay, it wasn't the safety that knocked the ball down, but it could have been. Hold that safety, then you got one-on-one with the linebacker. You put it out to the thing. I think Trevor saw the safety kind of drifting over and tried to fit it in instead of throw it out because he was fearful of the safety. If you remember, Gabe Davis turns and runs a stop route right there in the middle of the field. I have no idea why that was. All he has to do is cross the face of his guy. The safety has to hold. He's looking at him. And he doesn't, and he gets over there. The linebacker made the play because it was underthrown. But if it's not underthrown, the safety might get over the top and make the play on the ball anyways.
My favorite, we talk about effort on this. We've been talking about effort and watching and hustle and everything else. And you brought up the Evan Ingram fumble. Did you notice who was one of the first guys down there to make the tackle? On the tape, Pete?
Was it Trevor? Yeah.
It was Trevor.
Yeah.
I like that.
We've got plenty ahead. We're going to keep it real when we come back.
Because we've been faking it.
All show long. Until now. It gets real when we come back. Bears, Jaguars yesterday. in London coming up next week. Jaguars, Patriots at Wembley. And Election Day is just around the corner. We all need to show up big for our country, whether you're voting early, by mail, or in person at the polls November 5th. Be sure to make a voting game plan. For more resources and info, visit NFL.com/votes. It's Jaguars Happy Hour, presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
It's not about how you start the job. It's about finishing what you start. The Ford F-150 truck can help. Get the freedom to choose between available gas, Power Boost Hybrid, or all-electric powertrains, all delivering the power, capability, and efficiency needed to get the job done right. Just another reason why Ford F-Series is the best-selling truck in America 47 straight years. Ford F-150, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Brooks Rehabilitation is proud to be the official rehabilitation partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are here for them, and we are here for you. Ranked #1 physical rehabilitation hospital in Florida by U.S. News and World Report, our playbook is individualized treatment and exceptional care to get you back to living your life. Brooks has cutting-edge technology and therapy solutions in every care setting, treating sports injury, orthopedics, brain, spinal injuries, and more. Go beyond your expectations with Brooks Rehabilitation.
Hey Jags fans, stop dreaming of creating your game day fan cave and build the Jaguars den of your dreams with Zip Chair. When it comes to maximum comfort, ZipChair.com is the only place for officially licensed Jaguars recliners, sofas, bar stools, office and gaming chairs, all featuring high-quality embroidered Jags logos. Crack open a few cold ones in the comfort of a Zip Chair and make your home the place to be on game day. Head over to ZipChair.com and save 20% today. Use code JagsRadio at checkout. ZipChair.com, furniture for fans.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
It's game time, Jaguars fans, and Publix knows that football is all about pairings. A high-scoring offense paired with a stingy defense. A rocket-armed QB paired with a dynamic wide receiver. And at Publix, you can pair hot deli chicken tenders with savory dips. Delicious sub-platters with ice-cold beverages. And you can pair these tailgate essentials with an entire parking lot full of Jaguars fans chanting, Duval! Gear up for your tailgate at Publix, the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
We're back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings. JP Shadrick with Hall of Famer Tony Boselli outside of London. We're at the Grove Resort, headquarters for the Jaguars all week ahead of the Patriots-Jaguars matchup under the arch at Wembley this Sunday. And we're recapping, of course, the Jaguars' loss yesterday to the Chicago Bears at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And Pete Prisco is with us on the line down in South Florida. It's time for Keeping It Real, presented by Nobody. And we've got a lot to discuss, of course, each and every week, and this week more than most. And the Jaguars are in a 1-5 hole. Doug Peterson was part of the coaching staff for the 2015 Chiefs, Pete, who started 1-5. And then I don't think they lost the rest of the year. They made the playoffs as a wild card team. They could have won the division in the last week of the season, but didn't. How do the Jaguars fight out of this hole? It doesn't happen too often, maybe like twice ever, 1-5.
They don't.
What do you think, Pete?
They don't. They're not going to. I mean,
so
now the schedule.
Also.
What's that?
You've quit also, it sounds like.
Well, I'm not playing. I'm a realist. If I was playing, I wouldn't quit. It's my job. But the reality is the schedule gets tougher. look at the schedule. You show me games where you can sit there, other than New England, who is really bad. If you tell me where the possibility of them winning games, they're going to beat the Packers at home? No. Keep going.
Here comes the schedule. Yeah, here's the schedule. This week, of course, the Patriots at Wembley. And then next week, home against the Packers. 2 weeks at the Eagles, scheduled for Sunday Night Football. Week 10, home against the Vikings.
I don't think we're going to be playing Sunday nights.
Week 11 at the Detroit Lions. Then the bye week.
Okay, maybe New England. Where's the other one coming from?
So you think over the next 5 that this team is going to be 2-9?
At the best, to win 2. At the best, to win 2. At best.
So at best, you'll be 3-8 going into the bye, is what you're saying.
Right. At best. More likely.
Am I doing my math right?
That'd be 11 games. Yep.
More likely, you would agree with me, it's more likely to be 2-in.
I don't know. I'm at a loss, Pete. I mean, if you'd have asked me at the beginning of the season, I thought that they would beat the Bears no problem with a rookie quarterback. I think they'll beat the Patriots. But is that a given?
A rookie quarterback? With a rookie quarterback?
With a rookie quarterback?
How bad are the Patriots, though?
But, Pete, would you lock the Patriots game right now?
Not the way this team is playing with everything going on. No, I would not. And Drake May did some good things. By the way, he did some good things in the second half. Drake May did some good things in the second half Sunday. But
when
I
hear players talking about quit. Yeah, but I'm with you, Pete, because when I hear players talk about quit, that guys are quitting, and there's cultural issues or whatever that was. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what this team can do. Like, we keep on doing what we do on this show, and we've done it a couple times now. At 0-4, we're like, oh, the 92 Chargers did it. Like, okay, right. we got a chance, and then we beat the Colts. Like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Come back from London.
The 96 Jaguars were 3-6 at one point.
Yeah, Kai and I last week on the show, Pete, double lock-in. We're going to come back from London 3-4. We'll be right in it.
Right.
Now
we double locked it.
Double locked it last
Never
week.
again.
I had nothing to do with it. They wouldn't let me get in on it.
Wow.
There might not be another lock on the show. There will not be another double lock. I will not allow it for sure because we are 0-for on double locks this year. I'm not sure there's going to be a lock for the rest of the year on the show.
Well, you might lock the other team.
I will never, ever do that, Pete.
Lock the Packers.
Never.
I might lock the Packers in a couple.
Oh, gosh.
No, I will not.
I mean, it's just. But based on everything that's gone on and the way they played and the quit talk and the culture, there's not a chance in hell you can sit here and say they're guaranteed to win any of those games.
What do you think happens this week?
I do think they win this week.
Tell me about the Patriots, Pete. Are they good anywhere? Are they good on defense? Are they good on offense? Are they good anywhere?
They got run on Sunday, and they get run on the last 3 weeks. And the offensive line, they finally had the 5 guys who started at one point started together on Sunday. I'll tell you who's a good little player, the Mandarin kid, Demario Douglas. He was Carson Beck's wide receiver at Mandarin High School. And if he had you're starting to see it with Drake May, he's starting to make plays. If he had a real quarterback for the last year and a half, he'd be really a good player. So, but they're not good. That's not a good football team. It just isn't. And there's talk of, tiring of Mayo already too. So you know how that works. But so they have their own issues.
They're already tired of Gerard Mayo?
There's some rumblings about that, yeah. So
he just got
add it all up. I know, but add it all up, and you got the same issues. So, no, Jacksonville should win the game. But would you sit here if the Patriots came in and Drake May threw for 300 and 3 touchdowns and you lost that game? Would you be totally shocked by it? No.
No, they're the worst pass defense in football, the Jaguars.
Yeah, that's troubling. That is very troubling.
Why is that, by the way?
Do they play hard? Do the Patriots play hard? I'm trying to look for something that I should worry about.
They play hard, but why is that's a legitimate question? Why is Jacksonville's pass defense the worst in the NFL?
we don't have a consistent pass rush, and we try to play a lot of man. And if you don't have a consistent pass rush, guys are going to get open. We have too many blown coverages, and it's
been some injuries.
We have some injuries. I don't buy that. Sorry.
The linebackers throw in this one. The linebackers aren't good in coverage.
Everybody has injuries, JP. Okay. That's not an excuse.
That's part of the reason.
The Bears play without Brisker. The Bears play without Brisker and Stevenson, right? Brisker. Brisker.
Yeah.
So the linebackers can't cover.
We don't get consistent pressure with 4, and we don't blitz, and we play man. I mean, I don't think it's any one thing. I think it's all.
And the linebackers aren't good in coverage. I mean, they take bad zone drops, and they're not good in man coverage. So it's just a combination of all of it.
Besides that, everything's working perfectly.
By the way, are they going to get to the 30? Are they getting to Tony's 30 sacks this year? Was that what you predicted? The 2 outside guys would have 30 this year?
I thought I said 27.
He's hedging.
No, I'm not hedging. I'll stand by it. What I say, I stand by. I think I said 27.
What do they have right now?
We can go back. They would add more if they didn't have penalties, but I think Trayvon has 5.5.
Hang on, I'm looking.
And Josh, he got another one on Sunday. Josh has 2.5, 3.5.
Yeah, they got a long way to go to get to
Jaguars.
30.
Yeah. Trayvon Walker has 5. Josh Hines Allen has 2.5.
So we have 7.5 right now. So they need
they
need 20
games.
more.
They need 23 more. You said 30.
Did I really?
I think you said 30.
Okay, so they need to average 2 a game, basically, for the rest of the year.
So
they need to get like 3-score leads, so teams have to pass all game.
We bowed down to Tony last year because he got that prediction right. Remember, at the end of the year, we laughed at him in the beginning of the year. He got it right. Well, now we're going to be laughing at him this time around because he ain't getting this one right.
Listen, I deserve it if I'm wrong. I'm fine. I'll own what I say.
There you have it. That is Keeping It Real, presented by Nobody. We'll come back with Fanatics fan questions. There were a boatload of those.
Not very positive.
You think? After that game, that's how it goes. We're back in a moment. It's Jaguars Happy Hour, presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Brooks Rehabilitation is proud to be the official rehabilitation partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are here for them, and we are here for you. Ranked #1 physical rehabilitation hospital in Florida by U.S. News and World Report, our playbook is individualized treatment and exceptional care to get you back to living your life. Brooks has cutting-edge technology and therapy solutions in every care setting, treating sports injury, orthopedics, brain, spinal injuries, and more. Go beyond your expectations with Brooks Rehabilitation.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with Everbank. Open an Everbank Performance Savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. Everbank, advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Chelsea here. Another month and another high utility bill. Those old windows and doors might be the culprit, letting valuable energy escape. At Renewal by Anderson, our energy-efficient windows and doors have the latest advanced technology, keeping your home comfortable all year round. Renewal by Anderson has a limited-time offer. Buy 4 windows and/or patio doors and get the 5th one free. Plus, enjoy 0 money down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 12 months. Some restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com for all the details. License number CGC 1527613.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbecue.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
At Publix, you can tackle everything from pregame prep to postgame cleanup with prices that are never out of bounds. This week at Publix, save $10 with a digital coupon when you spend $40 on select P&G products. Tackle everything from pregame prep with brands like Crest, Head & Shoulders, and Old Spice to postgame cleanup with brands like Bounty, Dawn, Tide, and Febreze. Clip your digital coupon now. Available at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Sense of urgency, must win. We know we have the trust in everybody in here, but the sense of urgency needs to pick up the passion, the love. The reason why we do the things that we do need to pick up a little bit more, and it starts Tuesday. Once we get back to practice and focus on the Patriots.
Josh Hines-Allen after the game yesterday at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The Jaguars lost to the Chicago Bears. And yes, the Jags players off Monday. That's backward from normal, and usually it's Tuesday, but off today. They'll be back on Tuesday. And then on the practice field Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which is right here at the Grove Resort. JP Shadrick, Tony Boselli, just outside of London. Pete Prisco with us down in South Florida. And it's time for the Fanatics fan questions. Jaguars fans, gear up at fanatics.com with all the latest Jag styles. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything. We put the international cat signal out earlier today. Here's the best we've come up with from two continents. Question number 1 at Jags Evolution. Ask Pete, why in the world is Ronald Darby starting over Prince? Prince can do exactly what Darby does. At least we can blame it on being a rookie.
Pete? Did we
Well,
lose
last
Pete?
couple
We might have lost Pete. There it is.
No, I'm
there,
here.
You're there. Go ahead.
I said
Gotcha.
early in the
Go ahead.
season, I thought Darby played okay, and the last couple weeks, not so much. So are you going to sit down a guy you paid a boatload of money for a late-round draft pick? Highly unlikely.
Yeah. I mean, have we seen anything from Prince that we think he's better?
We haven't really seen him much.
That's my point.
Yeah.
I
right.
mean, but the
I don't
coach
know.
who has seen him in practice every day?
Right.
The coaches.
Right.
And the one
Right.
thing I know about coaches typically, their jobs are on the line. They're going to play the guys they think. Now, we can disagree with them, but they're going to play the guys they think give them the best chance of winning. I mean, that's pretty universal. I don't think I've ever met a coach that purposely is putting a guy who's worse than another guy on the field because they want to lose. Like, that's their job. So, now we can disagree with who's better and why, and you can disagree who gets cut, who doesn't, who they keep, who they draft, all those things. Those are great topics to debate. But once you get into the season, usually the coaches are going to try to play the guys they think give them the best chance.
But
unless Pete, there's some political thing that the coaches want to play one guy, the GM, and I'm not saying that's the case here, but we've seen it in the history of the league where the front office wants X person to play, the coaches want Y person to play, and there's a disagreement, and then whoever has the power, wins that battle. I'm not saying that's the case.
X should never tell Y who to play, ever. X should never tell Y. Y and his coaches should make that decision. Now, when a guy gets a boatload of money in free agency, and Darby's not getting a boatload of money, but when he's making that kind of money, whatever he got, there is a tendency to lean more toward that guy against a late-round rookie that you might throw in there and see what he can do. You'll be much more patient. You'll be patient with him.
Yeah, I want to be clear, though. We are not saying, neither Pete or I, at least I'm not. I'll speak for myself.
I'm not either.
I'm not saying that there's any there's any of that going on in this organization where there's disagreements who should be playing and who should not be playing. I'm just saying in the history of the league and past, I know that has happened based on a draft pick guy where he got drafted or money's getting paid or anything else. I've not heard that happening here. I don't know of that happening. But I agree with you, Pete, on the fact that the way it should work, and I believe that's how it happens here, is the front office, the GM and scouts pick the players with help of coaches. But at the end of the day, it's the coach's decision who plays and who does not.
And it should be. And I'm not saying that I know that for a fact. I have no idea.
Yeah, no, I'm
Zero.
not saying you are. Yeah,
but
I just wanted to be clear.
Coach Balky is on the field as a coach almost every practice too, is he not? So maybe when he's masquerading as a coach, he decides he's going to put his input in to see who's playing. That's part of the problem. It was that way in San Francisco. I mean, I saw your face. Tony, I saw your face when I said that, so I know you're.
No, you're not going to. Whoa, time out now. I will speak for myself on this topic. I have not been at any practices in the regular season. I was obviously at camp with a lot of other people. I have no idea. I can honestly say I have not been to a practice in the regular season. Hold on.
The practice field.
I have not been in a practice in the last 2 years during the regular season. Actually, since Doug Peterson's been the head coach, I have not been at a regular season practice, so I have no idea.
Nor have I.
Trent does or does not do. I have no clue, and I'm not going to comment on it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. But the team has sent out video, and I think it was like a week ago or so, or somewhere where he's on the field talking. Maybe it was when they unveiled their new uniforms or something, and he was there. I mean,
I don't know, Pete. I must have missed those videos.
Next question from X.
JT, can you back me up on that? Was there a video like that? Am I wrong?
I'm sure there was. I don't think you're wrong. Next question.
I don't know.
From social media. Earlier today, Fanatics fan questions. All right, at Samuel of Duval, lift the embargo on draft talk. How many more shows repeating yourselves can you do? Well, we know the rule.
How many shows can you do? That's the funniest question ever. Because basically this question is saying, you guys say the same dang thing every week. I'm tired of hearing it. When are we going to talk about the draft? So this is a Pete Prisco fan. However, Samuel, I hate to tell you, it's a fair question, but we will not talk about the draft or anything to do with free agency next year, draft, roster compilation, or any compensation or compilation. Is that right?
Yes,
compilation.
Correct. Composition.
It's not, or whatever. Either one. Whatever one you want to say. We're
not
doing it.
You tried 4 different words there, and not one of them worked.
It's like 0 for 3.
0 for 3, whatever word you want to use. Yeah. We're not going to talk about the structure of the roster or for next year or what's going to happen in the offseason, who they pick, who they cut, free agency, until we are eliminated mathematically from the playoffs. We are still in the playoffs.
Well, you're not. Correct. You're not. So I can. Here's what I have to say. Go get big people. Go get big people. Get some big people. Get some really good big people. Whether they're offensive linemen or interior defensive linemen, go get big people.
I'm going to stand by my convictions. No comment.
No. You're not the producer of this show.
I'm just saying, I'm not.
That's you saying that. I love talking draft, so I could talk draft. I'm saying early returns. If they had the number 1 overall pick, they would take big people. You know, because everybody's going to get all in this Travis Hunter thing and get him. He's a great player, and he is a great player. Or what I would do,
fabulous.
I would trade down and get assets for the pick. That's what I would do.
Travis Hunter's a heck of a player.
Might pick him first overall.
Tony, don't go.
No,
he almost baited you into talking draft.
No,
he almost did it.
No. I'm speaking about. I'm speaking about watching college football. I enjoy watching Travis Hunter.
You don't let him do it
for Colorado.
He's trying to backdoor you and get you to talk about it. Tony.
I love the fact that guy plays both sides of the ball, plays almost every snap in the game, and is dynamic on both sides of the ball. Now he got hurt last week. I understand. That's too bad.
Right, but he's not a big guy. These big people. Tony, you're the first one who preaches it. There's only so many big people on the planet who can play football.
And Pete, I believe that. You know how I believe the game is supposed to be played. You know my philosophy. You know how I think that you build a team. You know all those things. But I'm not talking about it until we're eliminated from the playoffs, and we're not. We're in the playoff hunt.
Yeah.
We got our headline.
How many games?
Boselli, they need to take big people because you just agreed with me. I got it.
Pete, we're only 4 games back right now with 11 to go.
That's right.
We're in it.
We're gonna,
okay.
2015 Chiefs, the spirit of the Chiefs.
We're in it to win it, baby.
And the 1970 Chargers as well.
70 Chargers.
Let's hit one more question in the Fanatics fan questions today.
Oh, we just had the 70 Chargers make the show.
Man, how much of a red flag is Cisco's a lot of quit on the field comment post-game about what's going on behind the scenes with the team? It sounds tremendously concerning. That's at Radius Johansson.
So it's a blaring, bright red, flashing light. I don't know why I would not. My recommendation to Andre would say, don't say that publicly. If it's real and that's an issue, deal with that behind closed doors. Deal with that in the locker room. Call the guys out in the locker room. Have the conversation. That's a team. That's an internal issue. I just don't think you air that laundry publicly. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, as a journalist, I would have loved it. As a guy, if I was on the team, hey, kudos to Brett Martineau, he got him to say it. But as a guy who was involved, if I was a coach or a player on that team, I wouldn't be happy about it, and I would call him out immediately.
Pete would have been running with that, JP. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh,
that would have been the headline.
Fold headline of the Times Union with by Pete Prisco, Jags quit.
Right.
I mean, it would have been a story all week. He would have been asking every player, every time at the podium, the coaches up there. He would have been running this thing. And
you know what, though, Tony? Times have changed. Like when I was a beat guy, I really wasn't supposed to put opinion into it. You know, I'd have to but now I would be a Jaguars columnist, and I would have said, we all thought they quit, but now we know they did because they said it. I mean, it was gold.
It's terrible. That's why you can't say that public. You cannot say that in the media.
There you have it. Fanatics fan questions. Thanks for all the submissions today. Yeah, there were plenty. And you can check out all of those on X. We're back in a moment with a look around the National Football League. Jags fans, are you Duval enough to become the fan of the year and earn a trip to Super Bowl 59? Visit NFL.com/fan of the year and nominate someone today. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
We need to define a great deal in today's new home market because the so-called great deals that you find on every corner just aren't the same as the incredible opportunities you'll find with a new Dreamfinders home. How about 2.99% in year one in one of Dreamfinder's 15 communities across North Florida? Now that's a great deal. 2.99% interest rate in year one and a beautiful new Dreamfinders home. Visit DFHSalesEvent.com for our largest savings of the year on move-in ready homes. That's DFHSalesEvent.com.
Are you ready to love how you feel, look, and live in every season? At Elace, we offer more than just luxury med spa treatments. We provide a serene, judgment-free space where you can reconnect with the best version of you. Whether you want to refresh your natural look with Botox or Dysport, pamper yourself with a relaxing hydrofacial, or rejuvenate your complexion with laser resurfacing, our expert team in Jacksonville is here to tailor treatments to your needs. Visit Elace.com today and start your journey to loving yourself.
You love free, and at Ameris Bank, so do we. That's why we're proud to offer worry-free, hassle-free Ameris Bank free checking. Manage your money your way with convenient access to digital, mobile, and telephone banking, all with no monthly service fee or minimum balance requirements. At Ameris Bank, we're with you. For more information or to open an account, visit our local bankers in person or online at amerisbank.com/free checking. Other fees such as overdraft fees may apply. Ameris Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Facing cancer takes a lot of determination, strength, and support. And you'll get it all at Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center. Determination from world-renowned doctors, giving you specialized treatment with cutting-edge technology and research. Strength and support from a dedicated team, caring for you completely, during and after treatment. Don't face cancer with anything less than the team at Baptist MD Anderson. Appointments available at baptistmdanderson.com.
It's not about how you start the job. It's about finishing what you start. The Ford F-150 truck can help. Get the freedom to choose between available gas, Power Boost Hybrid, or all-electric powertrains, all delivering the power, capability, and efficiency needed to get the job done right. Just another reason why Ford F-Series is the best-selling truck in America 47 straight years. Ford F-150, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings. Final moments. And for 11 years, Dreamfinders Homes has been proud to call themselves the official home builder of the Jaguars. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for all the available inventory, and go Jags. And a correction. I was wrong again. Pete, I was wrong.
I like this.
It was the 1970 Cincinnati Bengals, who were actually 1-6 and rallied to make the playoffs.
Is that that's the Greg Cook Bengals, if I'm not mistaken? I think that was the year. He was on his way to being a star, and tore his shoulder up. I think. I don't know if that was. I think it was that year. But anyways, you know what the story behind that is? The West Coast offense. The West Coast offense was born off of that because Greg Cook could drive the ball down the field, and he got hurt. And the quarterback they replaced him with, Bill Walsh, was on that staff. Virgil Carter couldn't throw the ball down the field, so that's where the West Coast offense was born. Little football history for you.
How about that?
Greg Cook is his name?
Thanks a lot.
Yes.
Pete.
I think it was a 70.
I think it was. Yeah, he was. Yeah, number. I think so.
Interesting. Very interesting.
He was going to be a star quarterback. And he tore up his shoulder, and that was before surgery could repair his shoulder, and he was never the same.
He played 12 games.
Yeah.
Had a 53% completion percentage for 15 touchdowns. In 1969, in 69, he started 11 games, was 4-6-1, threw 15 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. So yeah, he was a star. 1970 did not.
The numbers
play
are different then, Tony. Look at everybody's numbers back then.
I'm joking. I'm joking. 1970 did not play, injured shoulder. 1971 did not play, injured shoulder. In 72 he retired.
Yep.
Oh no, he did not play. And in 73 he tried to come back, played one game, threw the ball 3 times, 1 completion for 11 yards.
Yeah, but that's how the West Coast offense was.
I didn't know we were going to go down this rabbit hole, but here we are. Let's go
we're
around the
educating.
National Football League. I appreciate that, Pete. You're an educator. We appreciate that. NFL games yesterday. Ravens over the Commanders 30-23. The Packers blasted the Cardinals 34-13. The Texans put up 41 on the Patriots, 41-21. The Patriots coming here later in the week. They arrive on Friday. And, hey, we talked about the Patriots earlier, but the Texans are in first place for a reason.
You know, it's funny. We thought the division was going to be tough. The Texans are looking around going, we're waltzing. We're waltzing. The division's not very good.
What's the Colts are, 3-3?
Yeah, but do you think they're any good?
If they're healthy, I think they got a chance. But in
with
the current state of all the injuries,
with who at quarterback?
With Flacco.
you gotta sit Anthony Richardson, Tony.
You want to win?
They're not any good.
Moving along, the Buccaneers put up 51 on the Saints, 51-27 the final.
Saints started 2-0, Pete. 4 straight losses.
And you can't blame that on the quarterback because, Carr didn't play. Rattler played. Rattler actually did some good things, but threw a couple of interceptions later. But their defense was terrible. Terrible. And they actually got back into the game and took the lead. And the Bucs responded. Bucs ran for over 200 yards without Rachaad White.
If I remember correctly, at the beginning of the year, Pete, you said that you didn't think the Saints were old. You said you didn't think they'd be good. And I remember they started 2-0. I'm like, Prisco doesn't know what he's talking about. And now, after losing 4 straight, I'm like, Pete might be right.
Well, I thought Jacksonville would be a playoff team, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't think any of us do.
Nobody knows. The Colts over the Titans, of course, 20-17. Chargers beat the Broncos, 23-16. Steelers.
Well, go back to that Chargers game.
Yeah.
Coach Jim Harbaugh had a heart issue on the sideline and left the game for a while.
Yeah,
right,
we thought initially like he had like the upset stomach or something, and then they announced that afterwards. That's scary. His heart was out of rhythm, so terrible.
Yeah,
but,
I think he had atrial fibrillation.
That's a good win for them coming off a bye and going into Denver and beating them the way they did. That's a good win for them.
Steelers over the Raiders, 32-13.
They don't quit. They play tough and hard, by the way, in case anybody's wondering.
Okay. Thanks, Pete. Appreciate that. Falcons over the Panthers. Everybody's over the Panthers these days. The Lions, 47-9, but over the Cowboys. But Aiden Hutchinson with a broken leg, and he's done.
It was bad, man. As soon as that happened, you could read he knew right away, and you could see it. It was one of those danglers. It wasn't good. It's a broken tibia. Now, I've seen some doctors on Twitter.
Tibia, they said.
It was his tibia, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what they said online. Yeah.
They said some doctors say that ends the season. Is that right, Tony? Do you know?
What I read is that he could, if they make the Super Bowl, that he could be back by so early February, and that it is not going to be an injury that'll impact his career long term. Is what I read.
But I'm talking about for the rest of the season because that's a damning blow to that defense. He was on his way to be maybe the defensive player of the year.
Yep. But they're really good on offense.
They actually put out a statement this afternoon that Hutchinson underwent successful surgery to repair the tibia and fibula.
Okay, so it's both.
So they've updated it. So no timetable for return.
Yeah, he won't play this year. He won't play at all this year. That's done.
No need to.
And by the way, is there ever any successful surgery that's announced as not being successful?
No, but I think what was comforting if you're a Lions fan is not that it was successful, but that they're based on the injuries, there should be no long-term impact to his career.
Yeah.
So he should come back, no issues next year. And I think that because I'm with you, Pete. I don't see him coming back this year. Maybe outside chance if they're in the Super Bowl, which this is a team that's probably good enough to get there. But you're not going to have him for the rest of the regular season, all of the playoffs until the Super Bowl at the soonest. But I think the positive, which as a former player and as a guy who likes watching good football players, and he's one of them, I'm glad that should be no impact long term.
Yeah, and one quick thing, Jaguar fans, you should watch the Lions a lot. That's all I'm going to say.
Why?
You should watch the Lions a lot. Watch the offensive coordinator. Watch the offensive coordinator.
Thank you, Pete. Move on, JP.
Monday Night Football. We head to the Meadowlands. It's an AFC East showdown for first place. Josh Allen and the 3-2 Buffalo Bills face Aaron Rodgers and the 2-3 Jets a week after they whacked head coach Robert Saleh after the loss here in London. Who you got in the swamps of New Jersey, Pete?
I'm going to go against the new coach bump and go with the old coach and the old quarterback. I'm going to take the old quarterback. I'm going to take the younger quarterback. I'm going to take the Bills to go in there and win. The whole Jets thing just stinks to me. It stinks, the whole thing. I'll take the Bills.
Yeah, I think the Bills win. I think the Bills are the better team.
All right, that's it. We got some bonus time here with Tony.
Oh,
and
we
Pete.
do.
Yes, we do.
Very good. Yeah, I mean, going to next week, Pete.
What do you think?
I mean, you got the Patriots. You're a better team. I was just reading online. I mean, Gerard Mayo came out and said, "Listen, we have holes in the roster. It's not a one-year rebuild." Which I actually also think speaks to what Bill Belichick did, who's the greatest coach of all time. But it speaks to the GM side of his responsibilities at that organization. It's not a good roster. It was not. Gerard Mayo was not handed off a good roster, and I appreciate his honesty. He's like, hey, this is going to be multi-years to get this thing where we need to.
Pete, who wins Sunday at Wembley?
Jacksonville wins. If they don't, maybe people don't get back on the plane.
It's not that funny, Pete.
I hope you're all.
It's
I
not
hope you're
funny,
right,
but it's
Pete.
a real. I mean, I think they win.
I hope
though.
you're right,
They'll win
Pete.
by.
I hope-
They'll win
I
by.
hope they
They'll
win.
win by a touchdown, and the two defensive ends will each have a sack and a half. How about that?
I like that. That helps my prediction of 30.
Total for Tony.
I need
That's
it.
Tony Boselli, Pete
I need
Prisco.
I need to have 2.5 each. Come on, 2.5, boys. Let's get back on track.
Thanks to our entire crew on both continents for the production of today's show. And thank you for listening to Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings.